There was a time when talk of UFOs belonged to grainy photographs and late-night radio shows. That time is over. In the last 2 decades, the United States government has done something it never did before. It has confirmed, on the record, that its own military pilots have encountered objects it cannot identify. This is the story of how that happened, and why the mystery is far from over. On November 14, 2004, somewhere off the coast of San Diego, a Navy fighter pilot named Commander David Fravor closed in on a small white object hovering above the ocean. Seconds later, it vanished from his sight and reappeared on radar 60 miles away. 16 years after that encounter, the Pentagon would confirm the footage was real. It still hasn't said what the object was. Before we get into how one Navy encounter turned into a full government disclosure movement, consider subscribing. It helps this channel keep making deeply researched investigations, and you won't miss what we uncover next. This is the story of the biggest UFO mysteries of the 21st century. Not as isolated sightings, but as a chain of events that pulled the US government, the Pentagon, and eventually Congress itself, into the open. It begins with a single dogfight training exercise over the Pacific in 2004, and it leads all the way to a congressional hearing in 2023, where a former intelligence officer testified under oath about programs most Americans had never heard of. Along the way, we'll cover what was filmed, who confirmed it, and what still hasn't been explained. Our story starts with the USS Nimitz carrier strike group, training off the California coast in November 2004. For nearly 2 weeks, radar operators aboard the cruiser USS Princeton had been tracking objects that would appear at 80,000 feet, then drop to sea level almost instantly, a flight profile no known aircraft could match. On November 14th, Commander Fravor and his wingman were vectored to investigate. What they saw was a smooth, white, oval-shaped object, roughly 40 feet long, with no wings, no visible engine, and no exhaust trail, moving erratically above the white water of the ocean below. His squadron would later nickname it the Tic Tac. Weeks later, on the same deployment, 2 more Navy aircrews recorded their own encounters using targeting pod cameras. The videos that would eventually become known publicly as Gimbal and GoFast. In each case, pilots can be heard on the radio reacting with confusion to an object's movement, unable to reconcile what their sensors were showing with what conventional aircraft should do. For over a decade, these recordings stayed buried in military archives. That changed in December 2017, when the New York Times revealed the existence of a Pentagon program called the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, or AATIP, a Defense Intelligence Agency effort that had quietly studied UFO reports from 2007 to 2012. The article included the Gimbal and GoFast footage, released publicly for the first time, along with on-the-record interviews with the program's former director, Luis Elizondo. The government's posture shifted further in April 2020, when the Department of Defense took the unusual step of officially declassifying and releasing all 3 Navy videos, formally confirming what had leaked years earlier. The objects captured on film were real, unidentified, and never explained. The pattern wasn't limited to American waters or American skies. In November 2014, a Chilean Navy helicopter recorded an unidentified object during a routine coastal patrol. Chile's Committee for the Study of Anomalous Aerial Phenomena, a government body staffed by both military and civilian scientists, spent 2 years analyzing the footage frame by frame before announcing in 2017 that no aircraft, weather balloon, or camera artifact could account for what was recorded. Meanwhile, back in the U.S., sailors aboard the destroyer, USS Russell, and its accompanying ships reported something stranger still. Over several nights in July 2019, off the coast of California, crews observed and filmed multiple drone-like objects, some pyramid-shaped, moving in formation near their vessels. The Navy later confirmed the encounters occurred and that the footage was authentic, though officials suggested some of the objects may have been off-the-shelf commercial drones, a theory the Pentagon has never definitively confirmed or ruled out. By 2021, pressure from lawmakers had built to the point that Congress required the Office of the Director of National Intelligence to produce a public report on what it now called Unidentified Aerial Phenomena, or UAP. That June 2021 report reviewed 144 military incidents from 2004 to 2021 and found the government could explain only one of them with confidence. The rest remained, in the government's own words, unresolved. The following year, in May 2022, the House Intelligence Subcommittee held the first open congressional hearing on UAPs in more than 50 years. Pentagon officials testified that a newly created office, the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, or AARO, would take over investigating these cases going forward. Then, in July 2023, the story took its most dramatic turn yet. David Grush, a former Air Force intelligence officer who had worked with the Pentagon's UAP task force, testified under oath before Congress that the U.S. government was in possession of what he described as non-human craft and biological material. Claims he stood behind publicly, but for which he provided no physical evidence during the open hearing. Pentagon officials publicly stated they had found no evidence to support those specific claims, while affirming that the broader UAP cases themselves remained genuinely unexplained. Later that year, NASA released its own independent study, concluding after months of review that most UAP sightings likely had conventional explanations, but that a small percentage of well-documented cases, including some of the Navy incidents from 2004 and 2015, still lacked a satisfying answer. Across every case in this chain of events, the explanations split along familiar lines. Military and scientific analysts have pointed to sensor artifacts, parallax errors in targeting pods, and advances in commercial drone technology as likely explanations for several of the videos, particularly the GoFast footage and the USS Russell sightings. Skeptics argue that decades of secrecy created exactly the kind of information vacuum where speculation thrives, and that whistleblower testimony like Grush's, while sincere, has never been backed by verifiable physical evidence. Government bodies themselves have been notably more cautious than either extreme. The ODNI's 2021 report and NASA's 2023 study both concluded that while most cases can likely be explained with more data, a genuine small subset cannot currently be accounted for using any known technology, foreign or domestic. And the witnesses at the center of it all, decorated Navy pilots, radar operators, and intelligence officer willing to testify under federal oath, have consistently maintained that what they experienced doesn't fit any conventional explanation available to them. Why this story still matters. What makes this era different from every UFO wave before it is official acknowledgement? This isn't tabloid speculation. It's Pentagon-confirmed footage, congressional hearings, and a standing government office dedicated to resolving exactly these kinds of cases. AARO continues to review new incident reports today, and lawmakers have pushed for even greater declassification. Whatever the eventual answer turns out to be, the U.S. government has now formally admitted on the record that it doesn't have one yet. A Navy commander's radar contact in 2004, a leaked Pentagon program in 2017, a formal government report in 2021, sworn congressional testimony in 2023. Each step confirmed that something real was recorded, and each step ended without a final answer. The question that started with one pilot off the coast of San Diego is now a matter of official government record. It still hasn't been answered. If you enjoyed today's investigation, don't forget to subscribe. There are still countless case files, classified programs, and unexplained encounters waiting to be uncovered. Until our next investigation, thank you for watching.